My mother-in-law invited his ex to our wedding and thought it was completely normal. I never had a perfect relationship with my mother-in-law. She wasn't openly mean. She didn't insult me. She never shouted. But it's like she had this gift, a way of making you feel tolerated but not welcomed. You know those people who smile with their lips, but not their eyes? Who say things like, "You're very original," or "He's lucky to have found someone so grounded." Yeah, that was her. She always kept it subtle. Never enough for me to call her out, but just enough that I'd feel it. That tiny sting that made me wonder if I was really accepted. She'd never tell me directly that I wasn't family. But she didn't have to. It was in the way she never used my name when introducing me. In the way she made me feel like I was borrowing someone else's seat at the table. And then there was Anaïs. His ex. The golden girl. The one before me. The one whose name still echoed through his mother's. Stories like some precious memory. Even though they broke up years ago, his mom still brought her up constantly. Oh, Anaïs made the best lemon tart. Oh, Anaïs always knew how to dress for the occasion. Oh, Anaïs had such lovely handwriting. She even still had framed pictures of her. In the hallway. On the piano. In the guest bedroom. Once I gently asked her why. Why keep all those reminders? She just looked at me and said, "Some people leave a mark." And then she smiled. Like she hadn't just erased me in front of my face. My husband always brushed it off. He'd say, "Don't mind her. She lives in the past. She doesn't mean anything by it." And I wanted to believe that. But deep down, I didn't feel like Anaïs was gone. I felt like I was temporary. Like I was just a quiet replacement. She had never approved. Still, I never imagined she'd push it that far. Not until our wedding. Everything was set. The ceremony, the flowers, the vows. I had convinced myself that this would be the day it all came together. That maybe, just maybe, she'd look at me and finally see her son's future instead of his past. And for a while it felt like that might happen. Until I turned around and saw Anaïs, standing in the church, smiling, wearing a dress that was almost white. Champagne-colored, elegant, fitted, just understated enough to claim innocence, but bold enough to make a statement. My heart dropped. I froze. She wasn't on the guest list. She wasn't supposed to be here. And judging by the look on my husband's face, he had no idea she'd be here either. The ceremony went on. But I was somewhere else, in my head, stuck on her. After the photos were done and people started heading to the reception, my husband pulled his mother aside. He didn't yell. He didn't make a scene. He just asked her, very calmly, "How did Anaïs know about the wedding?" And do you know what she said? She smiled. That same polite, cutting smile, and said, "Well, I thought it would be nice to have her here. She's part of the family after all. And she never really got over you, did she?" She said it like it was charming. Like it was sweet, like she was doing us a favor. But what she didn't realize, or didn't care, was that in that moment, she wasn't just being thoughtless. She was choosing someone else's past, over her son's present, over our future. We didn't talk about it that night. Not until we were home, alone. The door finally closed behind us. He sat down, looked at the floor for a long time, and then got up, walked into the next room, picked up the phone, and called her, his mother. I didn't hear everything he said, but I heard the one part that mattered. He told her, "What you did today wasn't a mistake. It was a decision. And if you can't respect my wife, you don't get to be part of our life." She cried. She shouted. She begged. But he didn't change his mind, and he hasn't spoken to her since. It broke something in him. I could see that. She was his mother. He'd always wanted to believe she had a good heart, that she just didn't know better. But after that day, he saw her for what she was, and he chose me. Not just in words, not just with a ring, but with actions that cost him something. That's when I knew. I hadn't just married a man. I had married someone strong enough to stand up for us, even when it meant standing against someone he loved. And in a strange, quiet way, that was the day I truly became his family.